As of Delta 8, fuck Delta 9 as
It was
well.
around 2020 that a
They just
mysterious new
legalized it
drug
at this
started to
point.
pop up everywhere.
Like,
Delta 8.
legalize regular
Everything from
weed, not Delta 8.
Yeah.
weed, edibles, vapes, tinctures, and more was showing up in
It
every
almost
gas
sounds like a
station and
GTA
vape shop
radio
across the nation.
when they talk about shit like this.
Yeah.
At first, people had questions. How is this stuff legal if it gets you high? How is it made? And is it even safe to consume? But regardless of the skepticism, Delta 8 soon became a $2 billion industry, an industry that sold its intoxicating products to all 50 states, all legally. However, as the years went on, the dark side of Delta 8 was fully exposed, with multiple brands containing heavy metals like nickel, copper, and lead, lab
Oh, so it's just fucking cigarettes.
grown products lying about being natural, and much, much more. It became clear that Delta 8 was not what it seemed. So, where did it all start? Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Farm Bill of
So this is in question right now in Florida like crazy. Cuz they have this it's like a THC infused alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And
What about the whole, like, compare it like to New Jersey law for me?
oh, I mean
Like-
so the farm bill essentially like lets people grow hemp CBD.
Same with us. We can't grow legalized THC in our own homes. That's what the law says. But I know-
forget
I know a lot of people-
Florida. I don't remember if you can grow a certain amount of plants or a certain size of plant. I forget if that's.
oh yeah, you're allowed like a 3x3 crop plant of weed or something like that, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's and it's for personal use only or something like that.
Yeah,
But
you can
let's
do
be
that here.
real. Yeah, but let's be real. That's not happening.
2018. At face value, this piece of federal legislation seems pretty innocent. Its main intent was to provide support and stability to US farmers by enhancing farm support programs, improving crop insurance, and maintaining disaster programs, among other things. However, the most notable part of the Farm Bill was the legalization of hemp farming and distribution. And I know what you're thinking. This looks exactly like the plant that makes weed. While that's true, there is a noticeable difference between the two. You see, the hemp plant and marijuana plant are both considered cannabis plants, but hemp contains less than 0.3% of delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. Marijuana's primary
It's tetracannabinol. Damn it.
psychoactive chemical. On the other hand, marijuana contains greater than
Bro, if you
0.3%.
called me
Also,
like 2 years ago off this subject, I'd be a huge contributor. But for right now, it's like, why the fuck haven't you guys caught on to this like basic shit?
What?
The whole fucking THC, THA kind of thing, like where, yes, there are pot things that make you not high, and then there are things that make you high as fuck that will just destroy your whole entire day.
Oh
Kinda
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So legalizing it allowed US farmers to use hemp in the production of fiber, rope, food, and more. So removing it from being a Schedule 1 drug seemed like a no-brainer for Congress. However, this small amendment to the Farm Bill would eventually be responsible for creating one of the biggest unregulated drug industries the US has ever seen. It didn't take long for cannabis entrepreneurs to discover a huge money-making opportunity with the legalization of hemp. You see, the language of the hemp amendment made it clear that Congress was only worried about the levels of delta-9 being produced. They made no mention of any restrictions on any other cannabinoids that were in hemp, including Delta 8. Now, fair warning, I'm going to talk a little bit of chemistry here, so if you failed it in college like I did, Don't worry, I'll try to explain this as simple as possible. So hemp contains over 100 cannabinoids that all have different effects on the human body. Delta 9 is the most famous one because it's what gets you high. But there's also Delta 8, which is extremely similar to Delta 9. They have the same chemical formula, identical molecular weights, and similar psychological effects on the body. The only difference between the two is this tiny double bond in its chemical structure. Now, regulating or banning Delta 8 didn't make much
And we know politicians failed fucking chemistry.
sense to Congress because the hemp plant and cannabis plants in general naturally contain tiny amounts of Delta 8. But cannabis entrepreneurs were able to change
Surprised they don't
that.
have
Through a
distance
chemical
on this
process, they were
video,
able to
but-
Hmm?
It's a good video, but it's not that great.
What do you mean?
Like, he's saying a lot of good facts, but then he's saying a lot of like nonsense facts.
Oh, I mean, you gotta splash it in.
synthetically transform all of the CBD in hemp, which is another legal cannabinoid, into Delta 8. And better for them, they could do so in huge quantities, enough to where it was commercially viable for them to make a profit. With this chemical process in hand
Yes,
and their
with all the
sights set
fucking
on
big
making
banks
millions,
fucking
these entrepreneurs
legalizing all
began
these
extracting
dumbass
massive
weird ass, like you know, like the convenience shops that sell legal weed, quote quote, but it's not legalized. Like it'd be like a smoke shop selling legal weed, but like if a cop went in there saying he's selling weed, no, you're technically not selling weed. You're selling like
Delta 8.
Delta 8
Or CBD.
whatever the fuck. Yeah, CBD.
Yeah,
Like, that shit fucks up more the common person than anything else.
yeah.
Like,
There's like
Well, that's-
in Circle K, they have that like all over. It's just CBD products all over.
Well, that's the thing. They're actually regulating that shit now.
Yeah,
Put out an executive order that they're gonna regulate that shit to where it's only sold in dispensaries.
yeah, they gotta really cut down on that shit. Cause I mean, yeah, fentanyl and all that is like the hardest choice, but like for easy access out of a store in and out, boom,
Yeah.
you have this shit.
or you could have zombie tobacco.
amounts of completely
How's
legal
that?
psychoactive
You
Delta
missed
8
that
and
one.
began to create
That one was fun.
and sell joints, blunts, gummies, vaping devices, and more in all 50
Oh, wait, hold
states.
on.
By the time 2020 rolled
When I was getting off of weed,
and began to create and sell joints, blunts, gummies, vaping devices,
I was buying this exact vape. Like no joke, I was buying this because it was like Delta 9.
Oh, what the fucking pre-pod thing?
Yeah, I was buying these like at least like every 2 days.
and more in all 50 states. By the time 2020 rolled around, people across the US started to find Delta 8 everywhere. It seemed like overnight that jars full of weed littered gas station counters, and edibles were proudly shown on vape shop shelves, even in prohibition states. This seemed insane to people, especially in those states where weed was illegal, but that didn't stop them from being curious. Throughout 2020, Google
You got grandma hitting them vapes, or the grandma hitting them gummies.
I mean, you get fucked up. Like that shit is like the Delta 8. That shit actually does smack for real.
Yeah. You got
I
grandma.
never knew anyone that smoked vapes, to be honest, except for AJ and Murder and shit.
Yeah, I just smoked the weed vapes. I never smoked like nicotine or shit like that.
Man, you hit one of them. You hit one of them like Delta 8 pens. That shit, like you hit it twice, and that shit will put you in uncomfortable high zone. Like you, that's how high you'd be off that shit. Like
I mean,
it's crazy.
I don't know if it was the fact that I was coming off of, like stopping smoking regular weed to then going to
yeah.
like Delta 8. Like
I think it's a completely different tolerance thing too.
But-
Like you can have a
how do
pretty
you-
high tolerance on weed and then hit a Delta 8 pen and you'll get smacked.
But it would help you wean off of it.
It does a little bit, but at the same time, like I said, I was going through one of those vapes in 2 days. So like I was buying 3 to 4 vapes a week.
Yeah, that's like crackhead status.
Yeah. And I was just like, I started getting off. I'm like, dude, I just gotta fucking stop. So I just like got off of those too, and I was like, all right, this just makes no fucking sense. But
Yeah, I don't know how your fucking lungs were accepting that.
I was literally working with another company, and
They were trained.
I was like doing the pools and shit with that company, and I was literally in the truck just hitting it. I'd hit it, go and start another pool, and then in the middle of the pool, I'd walk back out to my truck to smoke it again, so I could just keep myself going. And I'm just like, bro, I'm like, I feel like it was literally like maybe a 10-minute high. Some people it hits different, but I'm not sure what it was with me. Like it did not work for me.
Google searches for Delta 8 skyrocketed by 850%, and with that, consumers gave the drug a try. While probably terrified that these mysterious ExxonMobil gas station drugs were going to kill them,
There was definitely a lot of ExxonMobils down here that had that shit. ExxonMobils, fucking Circle K, 7-Eleven's never got them in. I gotta give 7-Eleven credit; they didn't have that shit in there. There was a little corner store, but where I bought all mine, and the corner store's called "Thank You, Come Again."
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different because there's a smoke shop out by the gas station. There used to be a Snowco. It's a smoke shop now, and it's like a bar and lounge. And before weed was legal, one of my friends worked out there, and I went out there, and they had everything. They even had kratom, but they also
Oh my
had
God.
like all the different kinds. Like they had THCA, they had like Delta 8,
Yeah,
Delta 9, they had THP. There's like
That's how they get away with it legally.
Yeah.
so many
Like,
different
like,
ones. And I'm like,
like,
what the fuck is all this? Like THP? What the fuck is like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Like if a cop rolled up on them, the cop would be like, "Oh, what is this?" They would have too much explanation to even run them through the fucking system.
Yeah.
So there's no point. But if you knew what you were looking for, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
a good majority of users found Delta 8 to be quite pleasant. They discovered that Delta 8 was sort of like a diet weed, giving them similar
I bought some of these too.
Yep.
benefits to Delta 9 while
Delta
not getting
8
them
was a
incredibly
diet
big.
weed.
Delta 8 quickly
Perfect,
became the
perfect.
fastest growing segment of hemp-derived products, with sales estimated to be around $200 million. Now, while that number was dwarfed by marijuana's roughly $20 billion in sales the same year, it was clear that Delta 8 was a force of nature, a force that the FDA was very concerned about. As Delta 8 became more popular throughout 2021 and 2020,
And the other thing about the Delta 8 thing is it doesn't show up on piss test.
Hmm.
I don't understand why, but it just doesn't show up on piss test.
That has to be fucking scientifically fucking proven at
Because-
that point, because I don't know about that even.
Well, I took a piss test and it didn't show up.
Well, the only explanation is that it doesn't have any THC in it, and the test searches for THC specifically.
That or it's just such a low amount that it doesn't show up.
Yeah, it doesn't register.
Yeah, but then why does it fuck you up on other things? Like it has to be high spiking in another material.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, that's
you-
just like K2. Like,
you
what the
said-
fuck is that shit?
Yeah, like you said, Kenny.
I don't
like,
know.
They're not testing for the weed or shit like that. Like,
Well, that's
if they're
so
if they're
like,
only testing for one thing, then you're gonna be false, like whatever the fuck it's called.
well, okay, so there's like allergy there's certain like allergy meds that will show up on a drug test as heroin.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing. False positive.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was literally on allergy medications, and I went to the ER, and I was literally in the point of like my stomach, like my stomach felt so fucking horrible. I couldn't like, I don't know, unimaginable pain. And the doctor, he was like literally like, "Yeah, you're on heroin." I'm like, "The fuck? No, the fuck I'm not, my guy." And he goes, "Yeah, we can't help you here. You know, you're on heroin." And I'm like, "Okay, this is a great hospital. I'm glad I came here for help." Fucking private hospitals. Anyways, but yeah, like that shit will pop up, and it's literally, you know,
Just because you're testing for it, yeah.
yeah,
Well, didn't they say that about sesame seeds?
yeah. Sesame Seeds does it too.
Yeah, it's like a super crazy myth. Well, not myth, but yeah, it's already been proven.
Yeah.
The agency simply couldn't ignore it. A drug that had not been evaluated or approved by the FDA was getting into the hands of millions who could potentially be in severe danger from the drug's unknown effects. So the FDA began digging, and what they found was very concerning. They discovered that many of the brands selling Delta 8 made erroneous claims that their products could
Scroll
treat
down
medical
just a
conditions like
ever so slightly. How old is the video? 1 year.
A year ago. Yeah.
pain relief and cancer-related symptoms while also being a great dietary supplement. And they were doing so while ignoring the fact that all of these claims had to legally be approved by the FDA. But these insane marketing claims were just the start of the problems. From 2021 to 2022, over 100 people reported to the agency that the Delta 8 products they used were causing some serious side effects. Side effects that landed 55% of them in the hospital. Those adverse effects included hallucinations, vomiting, tremors, anxiety, dizziness, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Couple that with National Poison Control.
Didn't know what the hell was happening.
I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like they're talking about K2 because that shit was definitely potential for
Well, I mean,
doing this kind of shit.
whether it be K2 or whatever product that they're talking about, it's a miss. That's the same. Like if they had the same fucking report of people taking coke or fucking fentanyl on the side, it'd be the same fucking report. So
I mean, K2 is fucking. I even like before I even started smoking weed, I did K2. That shit was the worst feeling I've ever had.
it's only because
Yeah.
they're reporting all this shit, and that it's only because you're realizing all this shit right now. That this shit's been going on God knows how long.
Oh yeah, it has. I just, like, yeah.
It's fucked up.
Control centers reporting over 2,300 exposure cases related to Delta 8 products, where 41% involved children, 70% required hospital evaluations, and 1 death occurred, and it was clear that the FDA needed to act fast.
Marijuana doesn't kill people.
If you think the FDA is on your side, good luck.
In May of 2022, they issued 5 warning letters to some of the most popular Delta 8 companies on the market, forcing them to shut down operations within 15 days or face legal action. They were trying to make it clear to the public that they weren't going to fuck around when it came to regulating this new drug. But little did the FDA know that this new drug would be much worse than what they ever thought it would be. Throughout 2022, several more studies, surveys, and research were done to find the real truth about Delta 8. How was it made? What was even in this stuff? And is it safe to consume? Everyone wanted to find the answers, and the answers they found were shocking. To start, researchers wanted to investigate
Not as shocking as Hassan, Chuck, and Kaya, though.
the claim that Delta 8 was purely natural. This was a huge selling point across multiple brands and was labeled on all sorts of products. But was it actually true? Well, remember that chemical process I mentioned earlier where entrepreneurs could transform CBD into Delta 8? When you break down what actually happens during that process, you can start to see how unnatural Delta 8 really is. Everything starts with the CBD in hemp, which can be anywhere between 1 to 20% concentration depending on the strain. That CBD is then dissolved in a solvent like hexane, and from there, it undergoes a process of adding acid and heat, eventually transforming into Delta-8. The 0.1% of Delta-8 naturally found in hemp turns into a 1 to 20% batch of purely synthetic garbo, roughly 10 to 200 times more.
There is so many other ways of doing that. Like the way he just went through that. Oh yeah, one, 2, 3, fucking yeah. You could dispense it in this kind of way. No, it's really not like that. Like there's a lot of other productive ways that it could dispense out of, whether it be oil or THC or a healthy thing that you could actually smoke without getting any repercussion.
Yeah, but I think he's talking about how they get the CBD to the synthetic form. Yeah, that's
yeah.
what
He's talking about how they make Delta-8.
Yeah.
How Delta-8 is created.
Okay.
Yeah, how it's not unnatural, or how it's unnatural. Because what he's saying is, you take the CBD, which is 1 to 20% concentration THC, then you break it down in hexane.
I already know about all that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you ever hear about like Rick Simpson oil?
No.
Yes.
That's
The
all
oil that cured cancer.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Kenny knows about that. That's a whole nother video you should delve into after this if you're still awake.
What does that have to do with this though?
Just saying, it's whole nother thing of weed. There's the whole Delta-8, all that kind of like CBD, whatever, off of weed.
All right.
Which is plenty enough to sell commercially. So yeah, this chemical process completely gets rid of any trace of any naturally derived Delta-8 in these products. But it also does something much worse. In another study, a mass spectrometer was used on 27 different Delta-8 products across 10 available brands. And what it found in those products might get your stomach turning. None of the products contain the advertised amount of Delta-8, with almost all of them containing up to 40% less than reported. Instead, in its place were heavy metals, like magnesium, chromium, nickel, copper, zinc, mercury, lead, and silicone. Ingesting these metals in any form obviously leads to adverse side effects, which can start with symptoms like shortness of breath or chest pain, but can lead to worse problems like kidney dysfunction, nervous system disorders, skin lesions, immune system dysfunction, and birth defects. Also found in these products was hydrochloric acid, the acid used in the synthetic process, and a 13% concentration of more unstudied cannabinoids. So yeah, those Delta-8 gummies you see at your local shelf aren't really what they seem to be. With this information published to the public, you would think that consumers would maybe second guess their choice to smoke some Delta-8 reefer. But
buddy, people still smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
it didn't seem to stop anyone. As a matter of fact, the Delta-8 industry exploded through 2023. The US market
like vapes is like probably way worse than the for cigarettes.
Yeah, there's a bunch of heavy metals and shit inside fucking vapes.
People be fucking smoking them 24 hours a day. Even at the job site that I'm working at right now, like this whole union shit, people be puffing on these fucking things, like, and then
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'd rather people be smoking pot or like something like that. Like, what are you doing?
Getting that bear, you gotta get it in.
for Delta-8 and other
every 3 minutes. If that.
Every 5 minutes, dude. It's crazy.
Gotta get that bubble gum blueberry Bowser bitch.
It'll be crazy.
hemp-derived cannabinoids increased 1,283%, from 200 million in sales in 2020 to 2.8 billion in 2023. It was clear as day. The market for Delta-8 products was running full steam ahead, with little to nothing stopping it. The FDA was issuing more warnings to more companies, but that was only putting the tiniest of dents in the
Oh no, a warning. Oh no.
Because I guess people thought it would be healthy for themselves to do this kind of line instead of not do it. Like they'd be avoiding like their health, uh, like like instead of like taking the recommendation from a doctor, let's say, maybe like, oh, let's take some CBD or something like that, and that would really fuck up their body and fuck up their market.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
oh yeah,
CBD is not bad, but like the Delta 8s and the Delta 9s, yeah, it's a different situation.
but if you have an actual problem with your body where it actually needs like
Oh,
actual
I got what you
steroids,
mean. You
like
yeah.
don't not take the steroids and like, oh yeah, I think CBD can solve this.
Yeah.
No, it definitely cannot solve it.
The natural versus like, science backed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Massive production and sale of the new drug. It seemed like the FDA couldn't do anything about this, and Delta 8 was teed up to be the next ginormous unregulated drug industry. But there's a tiny piece of information I've been keeping from you guys that could drastically affect the future of Delta 8 forever. You see, the Farm Bill of 2018 isn't a set-in-stone piece of legislation. For its entire existence since 1933, the Farm Bill legally has to get revoted every 5 years, with the exception of Congress having the ability to extend the previous Farm Bill for another year. This means that it can change at any time every half-decade, and allows for new rules and regulations to be put into place wherever need be. The 2018 Farm Bill was extended before it was set to expire in September of 2023, which means that in September of 2024, anything can change about it, including the laws around hemp. Now, is this a guarantee that Delta 8 products will vanish by the end of 2024? Probably not. But there's sure as hell going to be a push from the FDA and DEA to get the Farm Bill amended to restrict selling synthetically created drugs, or at least give them the power to do so. For now, Delta 8 is still a thriving industry, with its long-term effects unknown and very few restrictions in place on what's in it.
Fantastic video.
Look, kids, simple cut and dry of this is, if you're gonna smoke weed, just smoke weed or CBD. Don't smoke these bullshit other things. Just, I'm not saying you should do these things, but if it's this or crack,
don't
smoke
do the
weed.
fake shit.
Okay. If
stay away
or just don't do it at all.
Yeah.
It's better for your brain.
Yeah, you'll end up like Flaw and Kenny and myself smoking weed all the time. No.
You know how much shit I'm in? I'm a very important person if you didn't know.
Yep.
In general, the least processed, the better.
Yep. Or just don't do drugs, kids. Just go read some books.
I know KS is trying to put me under the table with that kind of fucking call, but
no, I'm not.
Hey, he just said he was. I'm saying, don't fucking over smoke and cancel out yourself.
Yeah.
You could still smoke and keep a fucking good brain to yourself. Just don't fucking cancel yourself out on the fucking amount that you're doing. You could do a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm a foreman. I'm a fucking a very professional person. I run a lot of shit. I smoke weed, yes. And that's it. So.
All right, people, make sure you go.
Don't cancel it out as it being a bad thing, Chaos.
I didn't say it was a bad thing. I'm just saying, if you can, don't do it. If you do it, do it over smoking crack. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Over crack.
But make sure you go follow BC Productions. Leave him a like on that video. Pretty well done video. Yeah. It looks like he does. This is my first introduction to him, so looks like he does kind of these kind of related videos. We might check out some more later in the future. Seems like a pretty decent content creator. Give him a follow, give him a like, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you check him out. Original video will be in the description of this video. And leave a like, comment, and subscribe on my video as well. Appreciate you.